So we were born and raised in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. My father is a retired firefighter. He retired as a fire chief. My dad was a firefighter for about, I think, 25 years. I want to say maybe in middle school or elementary when we were discussing Oklahoma City bombing. I went back home, spoke with my parents about it. My dad was just telling me about, that was one of his jobs, like I guess the first rookie incident that's ever happened. So he was telling me about how a lot of people actually quit that day because it was so traumatic. It was really, I would say, heartbreaking because you never want to hear that someone you love had to deal with something that was traumatic. But at the same time, it was really admirable because to me at that age, knowing that my dad is a firefighter and worked in one of the most traumatic events that happened in Oklahoma City, or really in the nation, he's a hero to me. Even though we weren't alive then, because it hit so close to home, literally downtown close to home, it brings a reality that it could have been our parents. Because when I spoke to my parents about what they were doing that day, my mom actually told me she was supposed to be heading to the Social Security office, which was downtown, and just one decision away from being a victim of this tragedy. So I think even though I wasn't alive, it puts things into perspective that even though I wasn't alive, people around me were, and they could have been in that moment involved in the tragedy. There were a lot of my parents' friends that they knew who were actually passed away in the incident. There were a couple people I knew that lost, siblings in the daycare, things like that. So even though I wasn't born, I feel like it sticks with almost everybody that's born and raised in Oklahoma City because that's one thing that we all shared. Whether we were alive or, were alive or were not, we share that moment and we share that tragedy together. So the day of the Oklahoma State University homecoming, we were actually walking in the parade, me and a couple of my classmates, friends, with the African American Student Association. As we were walking out of the parade, the car came and actually crashed through the parade, probably not even a full minute after we walked out. And the first person I called was my dad because I felt like this is a tragedy. And in that moment I said, oh my gosh, did this just happen? And the only person I could think to call was my dad because he's someone that I knew had endured a tragedy as well. So I was like, who else can I call that I can relate to in this moment? And I know it's gonna answer the phone call, the first ring. So when I talked to him, I told him what happened and he just gave me the perfect words to just calm down and make sure I'm okay.